Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. It is time for a hug. So today's hug is this one, but we're going to be actually coloring yesterday's hug because I'm a day behind. I'm sorry, but I am. So we are going to color the shoe elves. And the story of the shoemaker's elves is the shoemaker would make shoes and he would get behind on his shoemaking. And one night he went to bed very late and he had a set of shoes that he had out ready to be finished in the morning. When he got up in the morning, the shoes were finished and they were gorgeous. And he thought, well, that's a little strange. I must have done it in my sleep. So all day long he worked, putting together pieces of shoes, getting them ready to be put together the next day. That night he went to bed and he woke up in the morning and all the shoes were done and they were perfect and they were gorgeous. And he thought, well, there's no way that I've done it twice in a row in my sleep. There must be something else going on. So that day he put together all the pieces of the shoes for the next day, got all the orders ready to be assembled in the morning, and he went off to bed. But he didn't go to sleep. He stayed awake, and in the middle of the night he heard noises in the shop. So he snuck down the stairs from his bedroom and peered into the workshop, and all these cute little elves were working, slaving away, putting together his shoes. And they were perfect. This went on for quite some time. The shoemaker decided that those little elves who were working so hard without even acknowledgement deserved something. And he noticed that they wore no shoes. So he went through and he created little outfits and little shoes for those elves. The shoemaker and the elves continued to work together for many, many, many years, and the shoemaker continued to make them pretty clothes and pretty shoes and leave them out different little snacks in appreciation for their hard work. The shoemaker's elves did it because they liked it. They did it because they liked the shoemaker, not because they wanted to make money at it, not because they were just being selfless. Well, they were just being selfless, but it wasn't for recognition or admiration. It was just because they wanted to. And with what's going on in the community right now, having a couple of little selfless elves is something that our community needs. So this hug is dedicated to the entire coloring book community, the entire color tube community. We all need a little bit of selfless love, and I hope that this hug gives us all that. So let's get started. I'm going to go over to the close-up camera here. Now the book is getting close to the end of the book, so it's a little bit more difficult to not have it flop closed. So I'm going to try really hard to keep it from doing that. So we're going to use the Prismacolor colored pencils, and I'm going to grab a little bit of gray first of all, and we're just going to color in a couple of these highlight areas with 50% cool gray. I hope you all enjoyed the sunset video. I was asked to show how I do a sunset, and that's how I do a sunset. Of course, everybody's different, but I hope that it was at least a little bit helpful in how you can look at it. I'm not even close to perfect at them, but I like the way they turn out. So, all right, so we've got the shoes toe area. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just going through and I'm putting in a bit of color, a bit of light color in those areas that I want to stand out because the light is hitting it. Now I'm going to go actually through it with a little bit of yellow on those light areas as well, because the shoemaker's elves all worked with candlelight. They worked through the night with candlelight. So all of these light areas are going to get hit by a little bit of candlelight as well. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of yellow in there as well. In the brighter areas. But first I want to just get some definition going here of where that light is hitting. And it's hitting mostly on the sides here, as you can see by the buttons. And I'm trying to keep the book open. I really am. So I've got the book turned sideways here for a little bit so I can get those areas all blocked in. Put a little bit on the buttons as well, because these are all going to be done in black. So all right. Just going to come up here. I think that's it. Now we're going to take our yellow. I think, yeah. This one is sunburst yellow. And we're just going to put a little bit of yellow in some spots. That light is going to be hitting the most. From the candles. The tops of the buttons here. Doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to show that there's some yellow glow coming off of the candles. The Shoemaker's Elves used to be one of my absolute favorite stories growing up. Alright, now we're going to take the dioxazine purple hue, which is number 132 in the Prismas, and I'm just going to put a light layer in all the areas that I want to be darker. Because that's the areas that I'm going to go over with black. Because it's going to be a black shoe. I know it was probably done with brown leather, but I think all boots like this should be black or red. But the wonderful thing about this story is just the selflessness that the elves showed to the shoemaker, and then the love and admiration that the shoemaker showed the elves, because that's what you do. You show appreciation for somebody's hard work. You know, you don't sit there and worry. If you don't like what somebody's doing, you don't have to, be nasty to them or whatnot. You don't even have to associate with it. If the elves didn't like what the shoemaker was doing and didn't like the shoes, you know, they didn't have to help him. But they're little helper elves and they like doing it. Otherwise, I'm quite sure if he didn't show them, some sort of appreciation, they may have gotten irritated with it and decided later in time not to do it anymore. But because he continued to show them appreciation and show them that their work was worth something to him, whether it doesn't have to be a monetized thing, just that he appreciated it, that it gave him joy, that their joy gave them to help him. So I think that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. I'm just babbling at this point. So I'm still going through and just blocking in that deeper color. And I'm just putting it pretty much everywhere except for over the yellow areas, because we want the yellow areas to stand out a little bit more. All right, now we're going to go in with the black. And we're just going to fill in the areas of the shoe. My black is really short, so it's hard to color with. I have to get some more blacks and some more whites. My white's really short too, but I don't use them. The black and the white are pretty much the most used in any of my sets of Prismacolors, because they do actually lay down very true black and white, so they get used the most. But yeah, the Shoemaker's Elves is a very, very wonderful tale, and it has always been one of my favorites from my childhood. Although I used to leave my homework out for the elves to do, and they never did it. They just aren't homework elves, I guess. I was hoping. It's like, but they'll make shoes, but they won't, do my spelling homework. What's wrong? All other homework I didn't mind. I'm terrible with spelling. So doing spelling homework was never my favorite thing to do. Wait, this is going to take a while. Try not to color the hair. or the hat. But yeah, they would go in there and put them all together and shine them all up. Make everything spiffy for the morning, which helped him make more and more shoes. Alright, so still going through with that black. Just feathering it into that yellow a little bit. Going over top of the gray, which makes the black a little bit less black, which is what I wanted. Because there's light sources there. Alright. Wavy. It takes a while. So I hope everyone was able to get over to that Facebook link that I put into the last video and voted for Bob Ross. I know it's shameless. It is a shameless promotion of my husband and his 3D printing, but his friend, he just entered just because he wanted to enter and thought, okay, well, if I enter, I enter. If I win, I win. No big deal either which way. And then his friend, started making it a competition between the two of them. So he's pretty sure he's not going to win the tool changer. He would love to win the tool changer, but at this point, he just wants to beat his friend. which is funny because it's a friendly competition. It's not anything malicious or anything, but his friend is making it a competition on how many more people he knows on Facebook and YouTube and everything else to make his get more likes than Bob's. Bob doesn't usually post his stuff, and I find it comical that my husband's actually, getting into the competition. So he's not a horribly competitive person. And the fact that he's actually getting into it is really kind of funny. Okay, so we're going to just take this black and we're going to go deeper right around the edges, bringing that shadow line in. Same with down the back side. Just going to bring in that black. For those shadow lines, curvatures in the boot. Alright, and then do the shadows from these wonderful little elves. And then we're going to go down the front side of the boot. Oh, we missed this area under here. Okay, we're going to do the shadows behind them here. I have to sharpen my black. Don't want to. Definitely going to have to put it into a pencil extender for the next time I use it. Or if I need to sharpen it today, I'm going to have to put it in an extender. Alright, let's see. Where's my other extender? I know I have another one here. Maybe not. Ah, there it is. It's got my Karen dash in it. Oh! I think my Karen dash is stuck in it because I just popped the whole thing off. Let's see. Yep, I think the Karen dash is in it forever. There we go. That's better. That's better. Now I can sharpen it. I had a broken Karen dash. Alright. That makes it a little bit easier. Much easier. Alright. trying to get the edges. This little bit of yellow down here. Still going to show through the black because I'm not doing really hard over top of it. Just enough that it's showing but not showing. All right. So I think just do this area here. Do buttons. Love these kind of boots. I would love a set of these. I used to have a set of these way back when. Well, not an original set. They were a replica. But I used to have a set when I was in theater in high school. I think they were my mom's. They were very similar. All right. So there's our boot. We got the boot done. I'll put that down. Now we're going to do the nails here on the floor. The tacks. All right. Now for our little friends. So I'm going to I'm going to start with their faces. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit, I think, just so you can see a little bit better. On the faces. I'm going to blend in the boot a little bit as well. Put a little bit more black down here. Alright. I'm going to give this a bit of a sharpen because those faces are really tiny. Bringing it in and zooming it in for you guys actually helps me a little bit too. Because if I not exactly sure what is on the page, I can look up at the screen. Because sometimes my eyes aren't so good. Alright. Just getting those shadows in there. Okay. Stockings. Alright. Then we're going to go in with nectar. Oh, that's peach. I want nectar. There it is. prismas don't seem to like me very much, so they like to break. So again, just putting in a little bit more of a darker shadow, combining in with that grayed purple, grayed lavender. Getting those shadows in. And of course, it's just little tiny, tiny areas, so you would think it would take longer to color, or shorter to color, but I find sometimes that the smaller the area, the longer it takes to color because the details are so tiny. Alright, now we're going to go in with some light peach. And I'm keeping this dull because I'm just going to blend all those colors together with it. You have to be careful with this book because you can end up blending the ink as well. So you can end up with a very inky looking page. That's why I don't like using the blender pencil too much on it. Because I don't want it blended in all inky looking. Alright, now we're going to do his outfit, and we're going to start with a little bit of green. So we're going to start with a dark green, so we've got dark green, number 908. Just putting down those shadow areas. On his trousers. On his little trousers that they made him. Alright. And then we're going to go in with a lighter green. I think I want this one. Kelly green. There we go. And we'll go back in with the darker green. And just fill in, extend those shadow areas a little bit. So, tomorrow is Work in Progress Wednesday, and of course we have different things that are in progress, But the one thing that is very important to me, because it just makes me happy, um, is getting the kitty cats finished for Ashley's birthday. I want to try to get that done by the end of tomorrow so I can send that to her for her birthday. Or at least post it to her for her birthday. Because it's her birthday and that's kitty cats that make her happy. It's, you know, pretty much her kitty cat. She sent me a picture of her kitty cat and it's very much similar. Alright, so now we're going to go in with some blue. So we're going to use some non-photo blue. Hopefully it'll show up. In the shadow areas here. And I'll put a deeper blue on it as well. But this is just to show me where things are. So I can work with the light blue and not cover up any areas. And I do believe that that is an arm. I think his sleeve ended up here. And that's her shoulder. I know that's a little bit red on the arm. Let's see if we can tone that down a little bit with some white. There, that's better. That's better. Alright, so grab that blue again. Now he's wearing a blue top and a white shirt. I put the blue in there for the white shirt to give the shadows. So when I go over it with the white, it'll be shadowed. Like that. Now we're going to use light blue. I know there's a light blue in here somewhere that isn't just light sky blue. Maybe I already have it out. It's this one. Nope, that's cloud blue. I don't want cloud blue. Alright, so we'll use... Oh, there it is, maybe. I think it's this one. Yeah, powder blue. Just blend that all together. Like so. Now I want that blue to be a little bit darker in certain areas. Not in all of them, just in the deepest areas there. Like that. Then we'll just spread it around a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me, because sometimes I tend to, especially when I'm concentrating on something, I have a tendency to whisper. I don't know why I'm whispering. It's not like the pencils are going to color any less vibrantly if I raise my voice. It's like I worry about them getting mad or something. I know it's silly, but it's true. All right, now we're going to do some browns. So we're going to grab this one here. So we've got some light umber. We're going to do his little shoes in light umber. Alright, and then we're going to take a bit of a darker tone and we're going to use chocolate. And chocolate seems to be another one that I need to get a new one of. I think it's because the chocolate was breaking all the time. Alright, and of course I'm off screen so you guys didn't see anything about the shoes. Alright, and then his hat. What are we going to do for his hat? Well, we're going to do a light yellow for his hair, so I'm just going to put in light blonde for his hair. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that in and a little bit of this in. And then we'll take a little bit of this. And blend it all together. I have seen that the other girls have done their hugs for today, and I want to look at them, but I can't until I'm done. So I want to get it done so that I can look at theirs. And I could look at them beforehand, but I find that I get self-conscious if I do. Because I sit there, and especially if mine turns out somewhat the same as somebody else's, I sit there and wonder if subconsciously I just copied it, and I don't like that. I want it to be all my own. And if it's the same as somebody else's, great. If it's not, great. But at least my subconscious brain hasn't grabbed somebody else's ideas. Is my thoughts on it anyway. I'm going to put a little bit of this bright green in the areas that yellow candlelight's going to hit. Yeah, I did not forget about the candlelight. And I could do that with the yellow, but I don't want it to be bright yellow on his pants. So I'm just going to lighten that up a little bit with the lighter green. Same with on his hat here. Then we're going to go through and we'll do the darker areas again. those folds. Okay. And there's his stuff done. One elf down, one to go. And then we gotta blend. Alright, so hers, we want some purples and pinks, I think. Well, let's start with the purpley red color here. So let's start with dark purple. We'll do her little stockings and stripes. Alright. Just trying to decide here. Trying to decide if I want the top to be purple too. Let's get this area done first. Then we'll make a decision. So I hope everyone is enjoying the hug of the day. Of course, it will be continued after Hugadayseptember in 100 days of hugs 2021. Now we're going to take a lighter purple and we're just going to fill that in. Fill in her stockings. And then I want that grade lavender, I think. We're going to do her top in that grade lavender. And we'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. This purple here. Do the shadow areas. Get all those creases done. And I'll try to stay in the screen. I'm just going to blend it together here. Make that grade lavender a little bit darker. And just going to blend some of this too. for her hat. Oh, Prisma almost hit the floor. So on her hat, we've got this area here that's going to be darker. That part is her hair. And then we got the so I'm using lilac and dark purple and gray lavender for her outfit. And we're going to do her hair in brown. So I'm using the light umber. There's not really a lot of hair here that I can flick, so we'll use the light umber, and then we'll put a bit of little bit of this one, I think, a dark umber. It's not the best hair job, but there's so little to work with. Alright. And then for her boots, I'm going to go a little bit lighter on her boots than I did with his. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of this to his boots just to give it that yellow areas. And I'm using artichoke. Just got a little bit of that yellow in it that we want for the lighting on the leather. Alright, then we're going to go in with a bit of the burnt umber, or light umber, I should say. Alright, we're going to take the chocolate and we're going to do the table under the boot. Because they're standing on a workbench. Hopefully that's the right direction. Alright, then we're going to take, what's this one? Nope. Take a bit of this one. This one is burnt ochre. I'm not very good with drawing wood, so if it's not already drawn for me, I'm not all that great with adding it. So let's grab a bit of this one, some dark brown. Just make sure that dark area is dark enough. And then we're going to take a little bit of, I think it's this one. No, that's beige. I want sand. Do I have it out already? I don't think so. What's this one? Oh, we'll use this one instead. Not what I wanted, but that's okay. So what I can do is I can take a bit of this yellow as well for the light. And you guys can't see a darn thing I'm doing. I'm talking to myself because I'm talking in a whisper, because the pencils will know. You're indecisive, the pencils will know. Alright, so now we're going to quickly blend this together. Make it actually look like a boot. Not just some terrible coloring job. Alright. Trying to get everything consistent. That's the difficult part. I know this part is probably really boring to you all. I'm trying trying not to press too hard on the blender pencil because I don't want it to tear into the picture too much, so but still want to press hard enough to blend it. If that makes sense. Alright. Let's grab our brush here and just brush it off. And then we'll do the counter, table, whatever you want to call it. Get all that blended. Okay. Alrighty, I've got pencils everywhere, and I should have been putting them into my thingy, but I didn't because it's already full of other pencils. So these are going to go back into their case as soon as I'm done the video, and will get put away, I promise. Alright, I'm going to switch you over to the main camera so that you can see the little elves and the shoe. Zoom you in. Just going to wiggle you around just a little bit. There we go. So there is our shoemaker's elves. So this is hug number 27 out of Hugadayseptember, and it is September 28th, 2021. And this is hug number 40. Ooh, we're almost halfway there. So that's hug number 40 out of Hug a Day, or a Hug a Day 100 hugs, 100 days of hugs. Oi, oi, oi. I just cannot speak today. So for hashtag Hugadayseptember, this is number 27. Of course, please do make sure that you check out Amazon Tammy, Ashley Colors, Shell Artie, and Angie Clarkson. They are the starters of the hashtag and are also doing the hashtag colorings. So make sure that you check them out for their colorings as well. Make sure that you check on Instagram. We have a whole bunch of people that are joining us on Instagram and coloring a hug a day just for the love of it. Alright guys, so that is number 27. Number 26 we did yesterday, which is this one. Aren't they cute? So that is a scarecrow hug. We've got a dashing gentleman there giving a country girl a good old squeeze. And then we've got our princess and her dragon. And then the next one is down here. And then we have our little mousies. This is hug number 24. They're so cute. I did not get a chance to draw the background. The pencils that I did this with were not the best. And I had a hard time working with them. So I decided not to frustrate myself and make myself mad. So I did finished up what I needed to do on the picture. This is September 23rd, so this is hug number 23. And it is an ogre hug. And then we have the next one is hug number 22, which is our squid hug. And then we have number 21, which is our wonderful snowman hug. His snowman and his girl, snow girl. And then we have our ghosty hug, and our ghosties have been playing in the closet, getting into all the linens. And this one says, perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love, by Rainier Marie Rilke. And then we have our Hobbit Hug. And then, oh, we've got quite a few hugs in between. And then we have our Daddy Daughter Hug, which is hug number 18. And then we have our Thor Hug, Thor hugging his hammer, for number 17. And then we have our Sultan and Princess Hug for number 16. And number 15 is our Platypus Hug. They're so cute. And then number 14, of course, is a Thumbelina and her Robin. And then we have number 13, which is Belle and the Beast. And just giving a good old lovey hug. And then for number 12, we have our knights in shining armor. And look, it's shiny. Let's see, can you see? It's all shiny. I did it all in glitter gel pen, so it's all shiny. Gel pens worked really well on this paper too. Gel pens and metallic pencils. And for number 11, that's number 12. Number 11, where are you? I know you're here. Is our Groot Hug. So these are two little saplings having a good snuggle. And that is for number 11. I call it Groot Hug. It looks like a Groot Hug. And then for number 10, we have our wonderful little witchy hug, getting all ready for the season. And then we have our Geppetto and Pinocchio hug for number 9. And this one says, he's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. By Emily Bronte. And then we have our Father Time and Baby New Year hug. Out with the old, in with the new. That saying always bothered me about Father Time and Baby New Year. Because, even though Father Time is older, who says that he's not useful? You can't just throw him out with the baby's bathwater, So, the next one, which is hug number 7, is, of course, our Alice and the White Rabbit hug. And then we have our wonderful little Gestures hug. And I did this one in metallic pencils, but you can't really see it too well. And then we have our Wizard's hug. And then we have, I'm going to have to erase that. It seems the Wizard's hug is bleeding over to there. And then we have our ballerina and her soldier. And then that one is a number 4. And number 3, we have our little goblin hug. And it says, I would always rather be happy than dignified. So there's our goblin hug. They do look very, very happy. And that was said by Charlotte Bronte. And then for number 2, we have our Batman or Catwoman and Superman hug. They look like they're very, very close. And then the very first Hugadayseptember Hug is our wonderful Monster Mummy hug. So we've got a monster and a baby monster, and they're given a good old snuggle. And of course, once I am done all 100 hugs, I will go through all 100 hugs in a complete flip through. Alright guys, I hope you have enjoyed this Hug-a-Day hug of the shoemaker's elves working after they get their clothes from the shoemaker. Until next time, thank you all very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, just hit that subscribe button. We definitely do appreciate the likes and everything else. Until next time, have a fantastic day, and definitely remember, relax, color, and stay safe. Until next time, bye bye for now.